कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव। कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मुरलीधर राधा मुरलीधर राधे जय गौरचंद्रा जय गौरचंद्रा जय गौरचंद्रा श्री श्री गौरचंद्रा जय जय प्रभुपा जय जय प्रभुपा नित्य गौर हरि गो हरि गो हरि गो नित्य गौर हरि गो जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि गो। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। So, today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter Canto 10, the Sum and Bona. Chapter 85, Lord Krishna instructs Vasudeva and Devaki's sons. Text 15. So only one verse. A very sweet, very, very sweet verse, and then very core verse of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. In fact, the Bhakti Yoga. Yeah. In fact, the basic is Eastern Vedic philosophy. All agree on this particular point. Let us see what it is. गुणप्रवाह एतस्मिन् अबुधास्तु अखिलात्मनः गतिं सूक्ष्मम् अबोधेन संस्मरन्ति ह कर्मभिः. What the word meaning? Guna, the material of the material modes, pravahe, in the flow, etasmin, this, abudha, those who are ignorant, two, but akhila, of everything, Atmanaha, of the soul, Gatim, the destination, Sukshma, sublime, Abodhena, because of their lack of understanding, Samsmaranti, they move through the cycle of birth and death, Iha, in this world, Karma Bihi, forced by their material activities. Forced by their material activities. You see, just karma bihi, but the translation here is given as forced by their material activities. This actually fits the context. Translation purport by the humble disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada disciples ki jai. They are truly ignorant who, while imprisoned within the ceaseless flow of this world's material qualities, fail to know you, the supreme soul of all that be, Akhila Atmanaha, as their ultimate sublime destination. Because of their ignorance, the entanglement of material work forces such souls to wander in the cycle of birth and death. The small purport. A soul who forgets his true identity as a servant of God is sent to this world to be imprisoned in a succession of material bodies. Wrongly identifying himself with these bodies, such a conditioned soul suffers the consequent distress of karmic action and reaction. Vasudeva, a compassionate Vaishnava, laments for the suffering conditioned souls, whose unhappiness, the result of ignorance, can be remedied by the knowledge of the principles of devotional service to Lord Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Seek the blessings of on the assembled devotees, Adipurusha Prabhu, Prabhu, all the senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and then all the assembled devotees, so that we can discuss something beneficial, uplifting. So today's verse, Vasudeva is talking to Lord Krishna. It's a conversation, and then so here Vasudeva is exhibiting, first of all, the most important quality of a Vaishnava, or a person who is dedicated, who is fixed on Bhakti Yoga. The most prominent quality is compassion, Daya. So they see others struggling and they can't tolerate that, you know. So and then when they can't tolerate, so they try to share what they have, you know. That is Audarya. So Audarya means to give to others. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the expert in this. Before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, people were experiencing bhakti, they were bliss, but sharing of this is very rare. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the floodgates, you know, so, and then distribute that mercy. Don't withhold, distribute, share it with others so that others can benefit. So this is, you know, this is Audarya comes out of deep compassion, you know, seeing others not having something which we have, you know, so we feel that, okay, let's share it with others, you know, so they are struggling. In fact, this is the same mood which brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this earthly planet. Advaitacharya was really unhappy seeing the souls, you know, they are lost, and then in a lot of Vedic activities, that is also good, but they are getting entangled in a bigger picture. There is no relief for them, you know, so they are in a mode of goodness, but still, you know, so that's still binding. So we will see that shortly. So Advaitacharya was deeply moved, and then he felt, you know, the strong urge to save the souls, and then he invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Vasudeva is also in this verse. He's really feeling painful for the people who are just wandering here, and then a lot of reasons, So why? Because to understand this principle of we are the soul, our identity is a servant of Krishna, is sukshma. In the today's verse, it is said sukshma. It is sublime, you know. And then, in order to understand sublime things, first of all, we need to be calm down, sit properly, and then hear, so that we can understand. Even subtle subject matters. Even if you are writing some algorithm, you know, or we are trying to, do some any fine activities, like as good as dressing the deities, So we invest so much thought process, and then so that the deities are so nicely decorated, so that when people come and take darshan, immediately their hearts are captured. So much thought process. And recently there was a Ram Navami festival, and then the management, they were doing so much up and down. Jayanithya Prabhu is here. He knows, they are investing so much time in this, because the process is very sublime, sukshma. There are so many intricate details are there, that all those things are addressed in order for what? So that people can come, sit in the festival, and hear from holy saints. That is the entire purpose of the festival, is to facilitate hearing, so that people can hear the message of Bhagavatam Bhakti Yoga, and then, uplift themselves. So, so this sukshma is very important. This particular concept of we are the soul, and the soul's identity is servant of Krishna, is very sublime. And it's not easy to understand that message when we are in so much passion. No, we need to cool down and then try to understand this message. Why it is so difficult, first of all? Because the way in which the illusory energy works, it tries to distract us from this particular subtle, simple subject matter by creating so much complications around it, and then so that we can get distracted. Vasudev is very humble, and he's, he has a lot of compassion. So Vasudev is trying to share. I mean, he's compassionate, and Mahadevi also, the distractive energy or the illusory energy, she is also like very, humble. She approaches each and every living entity. It's not that she comes with great power. No, I'm going to capture you. I'm going to capture you. No, Mahadevi, she doesn't come like that. She comes, please, accept me. I'm your servant. If not you, who can, give me shelter? Please, I'm your servant. You are my master. You try to lord over me. That's how the illusory energy comes. And then we think, oh, okay, it's my duty to give shelter. And then we think we can control. And once we come into that ideology that we are able to control, then it starts that that triggers the, snowball, and then from controllership, so we go to being controlled by Maya Devi. She controls us. There are two examples. In the court of Janaka Maharaj, so once a great saint came called Ashtavakra Muni, and then Janaka Maharaj said, please enlighten us. How strong is this Maya? How it works and how we can overcome. Please enlighten us. The court and then the Rajarshis, the kings are asking these subtle subject matters. They know what to prioritize, so that all the praja or the subjects, they are aware of this knowledge, and then they'll be automatically they cooperate with the king. You don't need to, influence the rules with a, hammer. Ashtavakra Muni did a simple thing. He didn't answer. He didn't answer directly. He just went into in the court. So there was a pillar. He went to the pillar and then he hugged the pillar tightly, tightly. And then he said to the pillar, leave me, leave me, leave me, leave me. Don't catch me, don't catch me, leave me. And everybody was looking at Ashtavakra Muni. What is he doing? He is hugging the pillar and then he's asking the pillar, leave me, leave me. And then after a couple of minutes, Ashtavakra Muni said, we are all doing this. We are all doing the same. We are trying to embrace the illusory energy and then we are asking, please leave us. How to get relief from that. It is a simple thing. We ourselves should take a step. We should start giving up that controllership idea, that swamitva. I am the controller. I try to control over the things. Just a simple thing. Just give up that idea of controllership. We don't need to catch the illusory energy, which we are doing. Another interesting example, I heard one of my mentors, he was sharing. This is a monkey peanut story. So there's a jar of peanuts, and then the jar has a small opening. And then there are a lot of peanuts. Monkey wants the peanuts, right? And then it kept the hand. Monkeys are like, they jump everywhere. They sit at one place, so they're very active, very active. And then the monkey, chanchala, very active. So monkey kept the hand inside that jar. He wanted to grab peanuts. And there are a lot of peanuts, so it grabbed many, but it could not remove its hand outside. So, and then all of a sudden, the monkey saw the hunter coming, or the master. So coming. So monkey wants to run away. Monkey knows that if it stays, then it's a problem because he will catch and then tie him and then make him do all the circus related things. But still, monkey is not ready to give up the peanuts. The simple thing, if monkey wants to remain free, give up most of the peanuts and then get whatever is possible. But the monkey doesn't want to leave the peanuts, and its hand is not coming out of the jar, and the hunter is coming, and then the hunter catches the monkey and then keeps a thread around its neck and then makes it dance according to the whims of the hunter. The monkey has no option. So the only thing the monkey could have done is give up some of those peanuts. Easy for himself, easy for itself. And then it could have remained free. So this is what, so we try to hold to too many things, lord over too many things, and then we get caught by Maya. Maya veshe, jacho veshe, kacho ha budu bu bhai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his songs. So what happens? Habu dubu, like so sometimes we are in the water and then sometimes we are pulled out, and then when we are pulled out, so we take a breath, and then when we are in the water, then we struggle. So this is how the destructive forces, they make us do in and out. Okay, this thing, if I get, I'll be the most happy person. Okay, and sometimes we are through, so we are happy, we take a breath, and then sometimes we are not successful, then we say that, okay, next time I missed this point, but next time surely I'll conquer this. So this sort of Maya the destructive forces tries to play with us. But but the thing is, the same thing. So when we try to play with Krishna, So even if we win or if we lose, so it doesn't matter, because playing is always fun. And then with Krishna, so it's always, uplifting. So now, so this, what is the solution? So Maya comes and then says, okay, please accept me as your, please accept me as your servant. That's what Maya says. And then we accept and then we try to lord over. But now what is the solution as Bhakti yogis? Simple thing, See, we can also say that I am also your servant. Okay. Maya Devi, I am also your servant. It's not that I'll try to lord over you, but I will also try to serve. And what will happen by that if you have that mode? So when we accept our position as a servant, so we will become close to the Lord and then understand that Lord is proprietor of everything. Okay. This particular point that in Bhagavad Gita, actually it comes many times, that the verse today itself starts Guna Pravaha. Guna means qualities, and then Pravaha means the flow. So we are sometimes dipped in that, and then sometimes pulled out, sometimes dipped in that, sometimes pulled out. The fact is, it's a very important point. Mm. We, whatever we are trying to do, or whatever activities we are doing, in actually, we are not doing that. So this is like a radical thought. We are not doing that. These are being forced on us. So in the last word, karma bihi, so it's translated as forced material activities. Okay. So what does it mean? We are not doing things means who is doing things in actuality? Who is doing things? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, so this is 3 point, yeah, 3.27. So Krishna says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. In fact, whatever activity we are doing, so it is being done by Prakriti or the material nature with the help of the modes, the 3 modes, Prakriti, Kriyamanani, Gunai, Karmani, Sarvashaha. And what happens? Ahankara Vimodatma. We are, bewildered by the doership mentality and the Kartaham iti manyate. I am. They think that we are actually doing things. A simple thing, to understand. So I'm giving this Bhagavatam class. I'm thinking, oh, if I think I am doing, so then that is a problem. Then I'm doing, I'm giving a class. How many of people will appreciate how nicely I am giving, and then what sort of encouragement I will get. Everything is about I. And we think that it's my knowledge, my experience I'm sharing. So this is what it is. But what is an ideal thing to do is that, and what is actually, what is the truth? What about not ideal or what is the truth? So the thing is, actually, yes, Anand Bihari Prabhu, every month he requests. So we can, what we can do is, as a soul, we can only desire to be either a servant of the devotees or not. So, and then based on that, if we have the desire, then everything will manifest accordingly. The modes will, help us do the things. The Prakriti will arrange the things. Okay, so there is a disciplined way. He creates a list and then we sign up for the service. And then there is a reminder. Amrit Krishwari Devi, she gives a very nice reminder. And then we feel encouraged, or we feel reminded that, okay, tomorrow is your slot, you have to speak. And then morning we get up, we take a bath. This is all being influenced. We keep a tilak. This is all because we have the desire that, okay, we need to serve. We signed up for this seva, we need to serve properly. So we are We are forced to read the scriptures. I mean, sorry, not as a force, as a mode of service. Read the scripture and then share whatever we understood. So this all comes, what we have is the desire to serve. And then remaining things are all facilitated, you know. Prakrite Kriyamanani Gune Karmani. So these are gunas, and then this is Shuddha Sattva. We are doing devotional activity. And simple thing, in other, when we translate in other daily activities. So the modes basically drive people to do things, and then people just are surrendered to the modes. Like, a cattle, so they are being tied around the neck, and then the people will drive. So the cattle just follow, So that's what. And then, so the modes are so strong, sometimes. Um, yeah, we know that goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then people are sometimes so much driven by the modes that openly, uh, even after knowing that there is a destruction, still people accept, especially in the mode of ignorance, which is, mostly the destructive energy. Um, so they advertise also, and still people, subscribe for it. Like when we are traveling in the trains of Kolkata, the subways, so people come and then they sell this chai, and then openly they say in the train, kharab se kharab chai, means, the worst of the worst tea. Openly they sell it like that, and then people still, they get attracted, and they call and they purchase and they drink, you know so this is like, completely stooped in mode of ignorance. And then, so people are being driven, even after, advertisements on the cigarette packets, they openly advertise, smoking kills, but, people will follow people will still prescribe, and then they get affected. So it's so much under the mode of ignorance, but still, people are being driven. So this is what, this is how the illusory effect, illusory energy, guna pravaha, the flow of um, the modes will be, and then people will be driven by those modes, and then passion. We have to complete this work, driven by passion. People sometimes in passion, what happens, like, we have a goal, but what is the problem with passion? We may not be able to take care of the relationships, and the relationships can be withheld only when we have those sukshma, or, the subtle aspect. So we need to calm down at some stage, and passion doesn't let us calm down. Achieve more. You did this much, double it next time, double it, and then go ahead. So like that. So yes, that is also we need for the Krishna bhakti. So we are just servants. We want to distribute more and more Krishna's mercy, but we need to rise above passion, because, we are a community, and then goodness gives that, in the goodness mode. So we try to, take care of those subtle things. So, or the sublime things. In the mode of goodness, we'll be able to give value to relationships, and then that will be more productive, than just being just passionate. So these are like various modes. Now, the simple thing is how to overcome this effect of, the illusory energy. Yes, so we are being driven, and then in order to uh, experience those activities, we are getting entangled again and again, and then taking birth. But the simple way, in order to overcome the strong influence of the distractive activities, is to identify and position ourselves in the eternal designation, that is, we are a servant of the Lord. And if we are a servant of the Lord, we are servant of even the distractive energy, because distractive energy is also energy of Krishna. So we are servant of all Krishna's energies. So we don't try to lord over the material energy, but we try to be a servant, understanding that they are actually Krishna's property. So when we understand that something is Krishna's property, we don't try to lord over it. And that is the best thing, always try to be a servant. There are some examples when we understand that the energies belong to Krishna, we'll remain sober. Like Arjuna, wage a war, and he was like really the hero of Kurukshetra, the Mahabharat war. But after the war was over, he was given a task, after some years later, to protect the queens of Dwaraka. But he could not do it, So they were traveling from one place to another place, and then he could not defend the queens of Dwaraka properly. And then the simple, cowherd people came, and then they defeated Arjuna. So Arjuna was like completely bewildered. The same Gandiva bow is there, but it doesn't have that much energy. So this is because, Krishna is the one who is giving the energy, and then he can withdraw at any given point of time. So if we understand that we are just a servant of Krishna, so then we will remain sober. And if we think energy belongs to us, then that is a big chaos. So we will not be able to remain sober, and then we'll create much more chaos in the community. So that is one aspect. Another story comes when Hanumanji is flying from Rameshwaram to Lanka, and then what happens? There's a competition. So there's a demon called Simhika. So Simhika actually challenges Hanuman. No, you can't cross. And then there's a argument and everything. And then Simhika says, "See, I have a requirement that whoever is coming, they should enter into my mouth. So you don't have any other option." Hanuman was focused on his, job. He didn't want to create much fuss, but he's intelligent. Jai Krishna Bharje, Sei Bado Chatur. He's a very dedicated servant of Lord, so he got the intelligence. So this demoness, Simhika, she expanded her mouth, so that he wanted to swallow Hanuman. And then Hanuman also expanded his form, so that he will not fit into her mouth. So the demoness again expanded, and then Hanuman again expanded, and then this competition was going on. She was expanding her mouth, and then Hanuman is increasing his size so that he will not fit into. And then all of a sudden, what Hanumanji said, all of a sudden Hanumanji became so small that he went inside her mouth and came outside. And then Simika understood, oh, I'm defeated. So the fact is, somebody has to enter the mouth and come out. So, and then Hanumanji did that. And then Hanumanji said, Mother, now I satisfied your requirement. Please allow me to pass. And then she understood, okay, you defeated me, you can pass. So often in the Bhakti, in the Acharya's court, this is like a competition tendency between people. I am big, I'm much more big. I'm big, I'm much more big. And then, so the simple thing is, we are dasanadas, we are servants. So if we accept that, then it will be easy. So we can go ahead in our service to the Lord, and there will be less interruptions. So the much we can minimize our ego, the more easy it will be. We can also see in the pastime of Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami's spiritual master is Rupa Goswami, and one of the scholars came and then he argued with Rupa Goswami. You challenge me, you defeat me, or else, give me a letter that you are defeated by me. Rupa Goswami said, I don't have time for all this. I'm busy in writing literature. It's ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, okay, this is my defeat letter. Take this and then go away. So that scholar was so happy, Digvijay Pandit. He took that letter and he said, I defeated Rupa, I defeated Rupa. And then he was campaigning in Vrindavan. And Rupa Goswami's disciple, Jiva Goswami, he couldn't digest. How dare you say that? And then he had an argument with him, and he thoroughly defeated that Digvijay Pandit, and then he left the place. He accepted his defeat. And Rupa Goswami, when he understood that Jiva Goswami engaged in this debate, he said, "Why Vrindavan is a no place for all this. You think you are the boss? You think you have defeated him? That sort of controllership, or so please go away. Don't stay in Vrindavan." So here it's a very subtle thing. He's trying to protect his spiritual master, but the spiritual master is setting a very high principle. But later, so there is again Rupa Goswami comes, and then he accepts Jiva Goswami back. So the point is, like, always we try to remain as a servant, and that is a safe position. If we are in the mode of servant, so it's a safe position for us, and then safe position for the entire community, that we as a servant, so we can serve the entire community and inspire the community in service of the Lord. Recently, this Friday, we had the good fortune of hearing from Vrindavan Prabhu. So he's going to give today Bhagavad Shravan. I just he's such an advanced soul. I mean, like he got introduced in 1974, and I mean he's practicing Bhakti Yoga, and then his practice of Bhakti Yoga, that age is more than most of us. I mean, some of us. I was born in 86, so he's practicing before that. So even Sundarnath Prabhu was telling, so our age is less than your practice of bhakti. So, and then, so there are in the Bhakti Life class Prabhu was giving, and then after that, one person who comes regularly, he was so impressed. He was so impressed with Vrindavan Prabhu, and then he was asking me. He said something to me, and then after he left, I shared that with Vrindavan Prabhu. I said, "Vrindavan Prabhu, you know what? This person is so happy with you." He said, "Who is this Gyani? So much wisdom. Who is this person? Who is this Gyani?" He was really impressed actually with Vrindavan Prabhu's wisdom. And Vrindavan Prabhu was so humble. And then he said, "Thank God." He said me as Gyani. He didn't say me as Bhakta, because I'm not a devotee. I'm not a Bhakta. I'm just a Gyani. So when I heard that, I felt, oh, this is how the deep you go into the bhakti. So we understand, we think we are nobody, So we appreciate others more, and then we think less of ourselves. So this is an example which recently I was very much inspired seeing Vrindavan Prabhu. So this is to summarize today's class. So we saw Vasudev's compassionate nature. He is really concerned about people who are unaware of their position, who are distracted from their eternal position, that is, as a servant of the Lord. And then because of that, guna pravaha, it's the flow of these material qualities. They are tossing people, and then making go away from that servitor position. And then we see how Maya does that, the destructive energy. And then the cause is we are holding to Maya. It's not that Maya is holding to us. It's just us. We give up, then everything is fine. We saw the story of monkey and the peanuts. Monkey is not ready to release those peanuts, and he get entangled. And then similarly, we saw Ashtavakra Muni. He was holding to the pillar. Like we have to leave the pillar. It's not that pillar is holding to us. And then we saw how modes also affect us. We saw the mode of passion, ignorance, how people get tuned into it. And then we saw some ways to overcome this. The simple thing that we practice the servitorship. We are servant of servant. And then sometimes there may be misunderstandings, but that's fine. Krishna understands. And then this is, and in the long run, things will be resolved. But always remain in the position of servant so that it will be helpful for the entire community. Thank you all so much for the patient hearing. Any comments or?
Thank you, Krishna Daya Prabhu. Wonderful class. So many takeaways. You're such a great storyteller, such a humble devotee, Krishna Daya Prabhu. You embody the things you were talking about completely. I never saw Krishna Daya going off on somebody. I never see him losing temper. Does that happen anytime, some Krishna Daya Prabhu?
I think you saw only 2-3% of me. So
Jai. This is Krishna Daya Prabhu speaking in his humility. Venu Madhuri has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Daya. So wonderful to see you. Such a great class. I took so many notes. I agree with Nanda Bihari. Lots of takeaways. You said at one point that we play with Krishna and that is up to play. You said with Krishna.
we.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I was wondering if you could give some examples of how we do that respectfully or correctly, properly.
I missed the point. We what? We play?
Okay. I'll take my headphones off. Can you hear better?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. You at one point said that we can play with Krishna and that is uplifting. And I was wondering if you could give some examples of how we do that without making offenses properly. Play.
Yeah. So the context was like yeah, I mean like Jambavan was fighting with Krishna and then he was defeated, you know. Bhishma was fighting with Krishna and then he was defeated. Okay. But still Bhishma was giving pleasure to Krishna. Jambavan was also giving, in one sense, a pleasure to Krishna. And Krishna doesn't take offenses, please understand. So we don't need to worry too much. I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, those offenses are, if you have that mood of bhakti and then minor offenses, Krishna doesn't take any offenses. If Krishna takes offenses, again and again, he's coming and knocking us our door. And then please look at me, please look at me. You know, we are chanting the holy names. How much we are able to concentrate. And then if you are not able to concentrate even in one mantra, it's an offense. But Krishna is so merciful, you know. So we don't need, I mean, the point I want to say is with Krishna, if you are playing, so even if it's a victory or even it's a defeat, it doesn't matter. So it's all uplifting because we are in association with Krishna. But if you are playing with Maya, so we get always in that controllership position, and then we always want to win. And then even if we win with Maya, so that's a loss because we think we are still the controller. So we are losing in that sense. And then if we lose also, we get loss. But with Krishna, even if we win or even if we lose, it doesn't matter. It's always uplifting. So in that sense, people try to play around with Maya. But so yeah, with Krishna, so we can play. And then there are no offenses. Like in Tirupati, so there's a very nice pastime. So there's one person who came from northern part of India, and then Tirupati is in southern part of India. He used to play a game of dice with Lord Balaji. Every day, Balaji used to come from the temple. In the night, he used to play. And then there was a nice argument. It's a game of dice. And then he said, "Oh, you should keep some bet. We can't play without any bet." So Balaji keeps his ornament aside, and he says, "This is the bet." And they keep playing. And then all of a sudden in the morning services started, and Lord Balaji says, "Oh, I have to go. My time is over." And then he quickly goes. And then that ornament is there. And then this poor Brahmana goes with the ornament, and then people say that, "Oh, ornament is missing. You are a thief," and then everything like that. And then there's a big story how Balaji rescues this particular person. But the thing is, yeah, so we can play with Krishna, no problem. Krishna loves to play. Like you see Gopas, they jump on Krishna. They say, "Krishna, you are defeated. You have to pay the price. You have to carry this person on your piggyback." Something like that. And Krishna is happy to do that. And we step on Krishna, it's an offense. The sadhus, sages think, what is happening? And then, what the Gopa boys do is like, they drink a buttermilk and then they do like this and then that falls on Krishna. And then your own Juta, you are giving it to Lord Krishna. It's an offense. No, no, no. Krishna is happy. Till the time we are in that position, mood of the servant, Krishna is ready. And Srila Prabhupada said, once one senior disciple, lady disciple, she asked Prabhupada, there is a Lord Krishna's photo on the Vyasasan behind. So can I step on your Vyasasan and then clean Lord Krishna's photo? Prabhupada said, please step on my head. So, that mood is more important of servitor. So then that is fine. Thank you. I think the darshan time. Thank you so much, Venumadri Devi, for the nice, discussion topic.
Thank you.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah.
Krishna Daya and Adokshaja Prabhu's ki jai. Venu Madhuri ki jai. Jambavan ki jai. Adipurusha Prabhu ki jai. Darshan time ki jai. Cameras on ki jai. If you can. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Jungle Jeffrey, Heckler Prabhu. You look like a deity with that backdrop. You're trying to imitate Krishna? Or you've entered the Leela in the mood of servitorship? Jai. Would anyone like to speak? Bhima Prabhu will answer if there's a question. No? Okay, then let's summarize. Krishna is the ability in men and women and all the jivas. So let's not get proud. Hold it. Adipurusha Prabhu is here, finally, saved by the bell. That's how I feel. Adipurusha Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Unleash Das. Unleash him, please. Let Das speak.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Where is Das?
He's coming.
Okay. Would you like to speak, Adipurusha Prabhu? Is Srila Prabhupada inspiring you to speak?
You pray to show.
In the elevator?
I remember one class, two things about Prabhu's class. He started right off saying that the important quality of the devotee is compassion. An important quality, and he used the word share quite a few times. How the way we exhibit that compassion is we share Krishna consciousness with others. And in the class that I was remembering, Srila Prabhupada was talking about how, we hear that, I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted here. We hear that the mood of Lord Chaitanya, he appears in the mood of Radharani, right, in separation. And Prabhupada was saying that sometimes we think about the romantic relationship. It's so far beyond normal, romantic relationship, but the relationship between Radha and Krishna. But he said that actually one aspect of the mood of Radharani that Lord Chaitanya was exhibiting, Namo Mahabharanayak, he's the most munificent, and he's trying to give Krishna consciousness to others. So Radharani has that mood. When another devotee comes, she says, this one is a better devotee than me, Krishna. Please, she pushes that one forward. So the aspect of sharing Krishna consciousness is one very important component of the way we have compassion. And that was what the verse was about, that the compassion of Vasudeva for people who don't see Krishna because they're distracted by material activities. It says a person who is enamored by material activity and is bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to Krishna does not take place. So our compassion is to help people be able to let go of that attraction for something lower. Anyway, a little complicated share, but that's what Krishna Prabhupada gave me to share. Hare Krishna, glory to Prabhupada.
Adipurusha Prabhu, does compassion means that I'm looking down on people, that I'm not bothered by it, but I'm just compassionate to others? Is that part of compassion? What about me, in other words? I'm compassionate to everybody. What about me? I'm struggling with those same things. How can I be compassionate?
Because you're struggling, Prabhu, because you're struggling, and because you get through them, that's how you're able to help others. If you had not been through these things, then you have no right to instruct others on how to get through it. and 99.9% of us are struggling right alongside of you. So how can we talk to each other unless we've been in the same struggle on the same battlefield?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, Bhima Prabhu. I was like,
Yeah.
compassionate. Well, what about me? How can I be compassionate to them and me? What the heck? I am.
What peanuts are you going to give up, Ananda Bihari?
What peanuts am I gonna give? I
His
have nothing.
brain, his mind. It's just his skull is filled with unshelled peanuts, and he wants to crack each one open and toss the shell aside and
Yeah, I'm an empty
savor
shell.
the essence.
I'm just a shell, empty shell.
We're all circus monkeys, right? We're all circus monkeys with our tutus on, dancing around in the big top called the material world.
Yeah.
And all the demigods are in the stands and they're laughing. And then there's the clown car, where clowns just keep piling out of them. That's our
Clown car?
modern
Is that
day.
you talking about dasa? The clown car?
I'm in there too, man. I'm in there too. I was the damn driver. Actually, Adi's the driver, and then just like all these people come up from underground, and they make us laugh, and they also keep us entertained, and they're also very much Krishna conscious.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I remember Adipurusha Prabhu once told me, if it's not funny, what's the use?
Exactly.
And that point really stuck with me. If that outreach is not funny, then what's the point? He said it with such
Think about it.
compassion.
That Krishna says, Krishna says of gamblers, I'm the cheat. So we took a gamble when we came down here. Like, Krishna, can I get a little of something of what you getting? And he's like, yeah, sure. Here's a world you can do it in. And by the way, you got some friends that want to do it too. So compete amongst yourselves. And by the way, what you're after is a billion times more powerful than you are. But good luck with that, because you're after Maya. You're after Krishna's Prakriti, and she's Durga, she's Kala. First, she'll take you down with deceiving you, and then she'll take you down with time. Kala is time. That's Krishna's female energy. Crush us. I am time. I'll destroy your world. So we've made this gamble to come into this world to enjoy, and then he laughs and cheats. He cheats because it's not a real world. It's not a real card game, and we're always going to lose the
That's the
hand.
play. That's the play Venu Madhuri was asking about.
Bhima had a meeting with Radhanaswamy yesterday. I don't know how much nectar he can share. The Zoom, the afterglow has already gone on for a while.
I can say one thing.
Hold it.
Is that
Were you here in town yesterday?
No, Boston, MIT.
Oh, Maharaj went to Boston. Cool.
MIT. Can you hear me okay, or am I breaking up?
Yeah. I'm broken up.
MIT, MIT is alma mater. I did like 6 years at MIT. Yeah, I told you about that, right? I was an MIT graduate.
You didn't
Ananda
brag
Bihari?
about it yet. You didn't brag about it in class yet. But now we know.
No, I never mentioned it. But anyways, he was at MIT, and I was lucky enough. Paula and I were lucky enough to sit with him for 20 minutes, despite being surrounded by 200 people. We were talking about Yoga Day, and I'll make this very quick. Yoga Dave's Costa Rican retreat offer and all that stuff, and it was just wonderful. It was just, you could tell, like, oh, okay, this is Krishna at hand here. It's amazing that he's even spending time, how he plucked us out of the crowd and said, okay, what do you have to share with me? And then he just took us off into a private place. And so what prior to that he shared, and what we came out of it, was very simple. He told a story about a mother cow who gave birth to twins, that it almost killed her. She was on her side for a couple of months. It almost killed her, and they tried to keep her going. And they said, when she's ready to die, she'll stop eating. But she kept eating. And then after 2 months, after giving birth to twin bulls, right? And they would always bring the bulls in every day and have them walk around her and have her see them. And she couldn't move, right? After giving birth to twins, she couldn't move. This is a cow on her side. And those bulls were, being nursed by somebody else, but they would always bring the bulls in. So it gave the mother a reason to live. And the vet was always saying 99% chance she's just going to give up the ghost. But she kept it, and she kept going, and she kept living. And then finally she got up. One day she just got up, 2 months. after being on her side, which is impossible, almost next to an impossibility. Large animals on their side will often suffocate because their lungs have to support breath in a large body. Like horses can't lay on their side for a long, long time. So, long story short, it was love. It was the mother's love which performed a miracle. Okay, it was the mother's love for her bulls that had her um, had her regain her life, to be born again, basically, after giving birth to two twin bulls. So,
Radha Swami said that?
yes, and that's what kept her alive. And then he went on to talk about the love Shivananda Sain. This one is one of my favorite pastimes that Shivananda Sain had for a dog that he was taking care of. He actually had a special,
Okay.
a special recipe. And then Lord Chaitanya, the dog went missing, and then Lord Chaitanya found the dog, or the dog went straight to Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya was taking a little bite of food, chapati or something, and then throwing it towards the dog, and the dog would jump and catch it, and then Lord Chaitanya would say, "Chant Krishna, Krishna," and the dog would go, "Krishna, Krishna." So it was, and he had the whole crowd chanting Krishna like a dog, because they would answer back by all yelling out, the whole crowd, 200 people yelling Krishna, Krishna. He says, no, 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 like a dog. So everybody was barking back at him like a dog when he would say that Lord Chaitanya would take a piece of food. So it was by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, the prasadam, that he was throwing the dog, and then the dog disappeared. And when Shivananda Sain asked Lord Chaitanya where the dog went, he says he's in Vaikuntha now. I gave him liberation to the spiritual world, straight from dog on the side of the road to liberation in Vaikuntha by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. And solely by the grace, and of course, grace we all know is just love. So that was the big lesson. That at MIT, it was amazing. He was speaking, and the board, the chalkboard behind him had never been erased. And when they moved up the big movie screen, there was all these MIT type mathematical symbols behind him, big formulas and stuff. And so he was talking to a sort of an MIT crowd, and but it was just all concentrating on love. And then he told a couple more pastimes, but it was like, we have and I'll make this quick. We have a trajectory in our life. We're sort of like comets through the universe. We have this trajectory, which is called our karma, our conditioning, even our beliefs, our faith. If we don't have enough faith, we're slightly off target. And then you run into a pure devotee like Maharaj. And then he just nudges you a little bit, says one or two things. And then all of a sudden you're back right on course again.
Sure.
That 1 degree that he nudges you with the mention of love has it that over the million miles that I have left, or that we have left as devotees to travel in our path to praying, which is for me a long way off. That 1%, that association with a devotee like that for a moment or for 20 minutes, alone, which was wonderful because I need more than a moment. And all of a sudden you're back on the right trajectory. You feel, and that means, as your lifetime goes on, you're heading exactly where Krishna wants you to be headed by virtue of the association of a pure devotee. So that was it in a nutshell. There's a lot more that went on, but it was just so lovely seeing everybody again that I hadn't seen in years. And it was just heart-changing event to see Maharaj and have him spend some time, redirecting me like a wayward jackass. So that was it. I just thought I'd share that. Hare Krishna.
Plus, Paula got the mercy.
Oh, big time. Oh, he once again, he reiterated something that will always be used against me, which is whatever side that Paula is on, I'm on her side. He said that to Paula and I 20 years ago, when we sat down before him in like saying, hey, listen, we got troubles and this is how I see it. And then Paula told him how she saw it. And he said, I'm on Paula's side. And I never lived that down. And maybe one day I'll tell you what he said, in as far as like why he chose the side of the one spouse over another, as far as like who should make the corrections here in the behavior. So that being said,
That's a
we
no-brainer,
never
dude.
mentioned, yeah, that was 20 years ago. I haven't talked about that scene we haven't talked about that or anything like that. And then out of the blue, that was one of the first things he said to us. How's Paula doing? And by the way, I'm on her side. And it was like out of the blue after 20 years. And Paula and I just looked at each other going, I can't believe you remember saying that to us. And so that's how Krishna works. He just makes these hilarious, undeniable, profound moments when you share them with a devotee, that you cannot deny them. And that keeps our sail, that keeps our rudder, that keeps our navigation, our latitude and longitude right in tune to where Krishna wants us to sail off to into the future. So yeah, Paula really got the mercy because she got more ammunition to use against me.
Ah.
Hare Krishna.
Wow, Bhima Prabhu, thank you for sharing the inspiration. Thank you so much. Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu, for asking Bhima Prabhu. Jai. Okay. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Whatever side you're on, I want to be on that side too. Please keep tolerating me. We love you. We need you. Happy Sunday. We need somebody who can bark Hare Krishna like a dog. Who can do that? Das, can you do that? Very good, Das. Very good. Very good. We heard some of it. Okay.
We should sign off where everybody just barks out or cries out Krishna Krishna, all of us together, as if Lord Chaitanya was throwing us a scrap of his prasad, his mercy. We should all sign off by saying Hare Krishna together.
Okay, let's try it. Oh, everybody, unmute yourself.
On 3.
Krishna.
You do the countdown.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna, save me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. We're all a pack of wild dogs.
In a
I'm the
clown
one
car.
yeah, I'm the one with rabies, or I'm the dog in the tutu dancing on his hind legs.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Happy Sunday.